It'll be Berrettini to get this first match going. Filippo Volandri is the Italian captain, former player, of course. Built a nice record, leading this team in recent years. It's a pretty clean start. Seems to be some confusion over whether that serve was good or not. That's how loud it is. How loud it is in here. I think most of the fans thought that was ace number 3 on the board, but just wide.
Forgive them for being quite excitable, the Italian fans. Just a bit too much fade on that slice backhand, drifting away from the sideline.
Still a good number of Spanish fans scattered around, but obviously mostly Italian fans inside this arena. Just over 10,000 sold out this afternoon. Perfection with the first serve, so the aces are flowing already from Berrettini's racket. It's a solid start. Lorenzo Sonego, his teammate, will be pleased with that service game, no doubt. A good history, these two nations in Davis Cup. This is the 14th meeting between them. Italy in front 7-6. Since they played one another for the first time in 1932. Spain have won the last 3, as you can see from that graphic. And interesting that the time they last met in 2006, both captains were involved in that tie. Volandri had a win over Tommy Robredo in the first match of that tie. And then Spain won the next 4 matches. Ferrer winning the 5th match against Andrea Seppi. So they both have experience of knowing what it's like, this matchup, personal experience.
Got a very calm demeanour about him, David Ferrer. He's managed the team very well.
Hasn't been without its problems, has it, in recent months? The saga with Alejandro Davidovich Fokina. No Fokina this week. There's a bit of history to it, but Ferrez moved on, didn't want to answer any more questions about that situation when he arrived here in Bologna. And of course, no Alcaraz, he pulled out at the last minute, injured, after playing in Turin last week.
Well, you know he's feeling good if he starts hitting backhands like that. That's a sweet strike. Tends to use the slice a fair bit. But if you've got time and you hit through it like that, why not?
Elisabetta Cocciaretto on the right of the shot, Italian WTA player. Next to the president of the Italian Federation, I wondered whether we might see a few Italian players scattered around, past and present. Big occasion, isn't it?
The Billie Jean King Cup team also have a lot to celebrate. Italian tennis flying. Will need to hit his spots. Carreño Busta doesn't have the biggest serve, but if you can move it around the box like that well, various placement. Did that well yesterday.
It's a good opening game on serve from PCB, as is known. I was really impressed with his performance yesterday. I got a sense of his experience. There's Munar, number one player. Composure that he brings. I thought he just played within himself beautifully. He was under control a lot during the many baseline exchanges with Struff.
And he's stuck in that tie-break, because you never know. Every now and then it does happen, and it happened yesterday for him. You get yourself back from what looked like a losing position in that second set.
Berrettini has won his last 10 Davis Cup singles matches. 8 coming into this week and a couple more in the last few days. Talked about how much of a motivation it was for him when he was injured on and off the last couple of years. Desire to get back on this stage representing Italy.
Let for serve.
On his singles in last year's final, that was against the Netherlands. Beats Botic van der Zandschulp in 3 sets to get things rolling before Sinner finished the job against Griekspoor. I mean, what a #2 player to have with that sort of record and the level that he can bring to a tennis court. Former Grand Slam finalist, of course. Wimbledon a few years ago.
Well, sometimes it does work to your advantage, doesn't it? That you know, there's a silver lining that you come in as such a strong #2. Good for the team.
It's Flavio, the hero of the hour against Belgium. What a tiebreak that was against Zizou Berg. 17-15 if you missed that. He saved 7 match points. Has he recovered? That's another interesting question today, isn't it? The emotional roller coaster that he strapped himself in for.
Yeah, that's amazing. You know, yesterday it'd be very interesting to see what he did on court. Wiltardi was out there with his dad doing a few basket drills, getting some reps in, but I think he would have had to rest a fair bit and recover. Big serve to find, big point. Just been broken to twice this week. Berrettini, 1 in each match.
Not too surprising, there's a fair bit of traffic heading into that Berrettini backhand from Pablo.
I think the game plan is pretty simple when there is that weakness. If you can get into it at the right time, you're going to have to open him up on the forehand side sometimes, but get into that backhand, make him feel uncomfortable.
Nicely done.
That's the pattern of play who wants to execute. Serve +1 being the forehand. Take control of things. Nice touch volley from the service line. When you're nervous, they are difficult to execute.
Nice kick to that second serve, and Berrettini eventually comes through his second service game. More testing, that one. I think Carreno Busta will be satisfied with his efforts. Let's say good afternoon for the first time to Nick Lester courtside. Talk about the atmosphere first of all, Nick. These are special, unique days, aren't they?
Yeah, spine-tingling it really was, when not only when the teams walked out, but when the national anthems were played, of course. And as you so rightly say, first time in 6 years that we've had a home nation in the final, so that certainly adds to it. But very much unique to this competition. I think Carreno Busta will be pretty encouraged actually by the first 3 games. Certainly the last service game, he certainly at times got a pretty good read on the serve. He was been able to test the backhand wing. And I think just looking at him as he walked to his chair at the end of the last game, he looked pretty comfortable.
Yes, I would agree. He's been getting involved in enough points, isn't he, from the back of the court.
It's always that danger that Berrettini will look to try and overpower you like that. If you can contain him, draw a few errors, get on the front foot yourself, and get yourself into the match. Can't defend against that though. That's pinpoint placement from Berrettini.
And there's an example of going into the forehand with not enough, isn't it? Because we know that Berrettini has arguably one of the biggest in the game. You cannot just feed that shot.
Seems to be heating up.
Different sound coming off his strings at the minute when he hits that forehand like that. That was all power, that depth. Because actually, if you look where it landed, it was at the middle of the court, the middle channel. But it was just too big, almost knocked Carreno Busta off his feet.
Miscued that one. Back to 30 all.
Did play that point on his racket though. He was in control.
Higher ranking of the two, Berrettini has worked his way up to 56 in this week's ATP rankings. Spaniard just inside the top 90 in that list. Busy on the Challenger Tour as Pablo Carreño Busta, winning a lot of matches just lately. Early in mid-October, won a Challenger on home soil in Spain and made the final of another in Italy. Lost to the French player Luca Van Assche in that final. Nice hold. Comes through a first bit of pressure.
Nice, accurate serving that. Deep in the box. Always growing confidence when you come through those pressure service games.
Probably got quite a few fans, Nick, watching perhaps for the first time this week. How would you describe the pace of this court over the last few days?
I think the consensus is it's been relatively quick, isn't it? I mean, when we first got here, obviously the suggestion from Jürgen Melzer, who told us he thought it was actually on the slower side with the balls fluffing up a little bit, but I think it is very player dependent, right? Berrettini can make any court look pretty quick because of the pace of the ball he hits. Put that serve on anything and that's going to largely beat anybody, isn't it? So it does depend on the player, as we know.
Yeah, I've also seen from Flavio Caboli that, you know, the ball gets up as well. You know, if it takes spin.
It's the ITF, by the way, who decides on the court pace at the start of the week. I feel like we would probably all agree that they've done a pretty good job with the court pace this week.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're rewarded for aggressive play, but you can also easily play from the back of the court, of course. The majority of the players do these days. Always a lot of talk about the ball as well, but no complaints from the players.
It's a nice return. He's always had a good return on him. Good singles player, of course, but he's had a lot of success on the doubles court as well, where you have to have a good return serve.
Yes, that compact nature of the forehand return allows him to take that as early as he did. That was really well timed. Have to move too far out to play it. Right out the middle.
Just got up a little bit higher on him than the previous two because it hit two great second serve returns, but that one just a fraction more bounce to it.
The point you were making of, it doesn't take the kick serve, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Game point Berrettini. Oh, that was tricky to deal with. All sorts of spin on that approach. Slightly unorthodox, but it worked a treat. Still no breaks in this opening match of this Davis Cup final.
Sometimes you've got to get creative on those sort of shots. They're tricky to deal with. Like the shot he produced, slicing right across it. Not easy to hit if you're Carreno Busta, so much side spin on it. There's the miss hit that he drew.
I think at times we've seen Berrettini in his career be a little bit reluctant to come forward. I'm not saying he doesn't necessarily feel that comfortable up there, but I do think there have been periods in his career where he just looked a little bit reticent to come in, and it was a good example there. Despite the fact he did get creative, it didn't look as though he was desperate to come forwards off that ball. This lady put on a good show earlier on.
She did. Good voice.
Just downloaded her entire back catalogue, boys, for you, just for your knowledge.
A bit of research next time. You can sing along.
So competitive start to this first singles, as we suspected it might be. I think Italy probably most people's favourites, but I personally feel this is on a knife edge, this tie. Tennis that Pablo's played this week. Jaume Munar has had the best season of his career. Particular improvement on hard courts this year, and the doubles is super tight as well. Very capable of spoiling the party this evening.
So many of the matches have been 50-50, haven't they, when you look at the matchups all week.
Might have to leave the city under the cover of darkness tonight if they pull off the win.
Yeah. Looking comfortable on serve. It's just getting Berrettini stretched out in return. He's not getting a read on anything at the minute, the Italian. %73% of first serves made for Carreno Busta.
Spain looking for their first title since 2019. That was in Madrid. Champions in 2000 again, 4 years later, 2008 and 2009 back-to-back, again in 2011, and a sixth in 2019. Tournament director here, Feliciano Lopez, part of some of those winning teams. That will boost the confidence, that hold.
Nice and quick.
Interesting to see how long Flavio sticks around for, playing the second singles, of course. So normally stay for about a set, don't they, those players who are involved in the next match, head off to the team locker room to prepare physically and mentally.
As always in these situations, this is actually good movement off the ball here, because you could see where Berrettini was and how much he closed the net down. So Carreno Busta was there, but just needed obviously to find a much acuter angle than he might otherwise have done.
Absolutely nothing in it after just under half an hour on serve, 4-3. So we're done with the first set of tennis balls. New balls out for the next service game. Difficult to tell, really, isn't it? Who might just make their move and nick this first set?
Yeah, I mean, both are playing well. No real lapses in concentration, holding serve. I've been very impressed with Carreno Busta, using his experience. No panic from him coming out, first match out. Settled in nicely.
Berrettini's overall singles record at Davis Cup, 11-2. So 11 of the 13 matches he has won. Very difficult man to beat in this competition. Carreno Busta not quite as good. 6 and 8 his win-loss. He's played 4 doubles as well. He's won 2 of those. He's been playing for Spain for the best part of 10 years now. He's part of the team that beat Denmark. It was a miracle in Marbella in September from 2-0 down. Saved a match point that day. It's incredible, isn't it? So many of these stories in tennis, so close to a run being ended, they save a match point. In that case, it was Pedro Martinez who saved match point against Holger Rune that day. Come back and win 3-2 by the skin of their teeth, and here they are in the final.
That's incredible how these things work out. Fate, many ways. what we love about this sport, because you never know. Some pressure now, a couple of errors. And this is where the crowd gets really loud, and it just puts that extra pressure on you if you're Carreno Busta now. 2 poor points in a row from him. I haven't seen that.
Little glance to Matteo's left. That's where his teammates are sitting. Recognition that this is an opportunity. Matteo's brother, that was. Looking tense courtside. No, it's wide. So here come 3 chances. Philandri wants him locked in here.
Well, sometimes you don't need to raise your level, just be solid. And Carreno Busta, 3 poor points in a row.
10,000 fans getting excited, as is Gaboli. First one saved. It's good serving. 2 points in a row.
Well, if you're Berrettini now, do you guard that backhand wing? He's gone there twice in a row now. And there's 2 break points. Does he just edge that way? Give him the one up the tee.
Oh, it's broken. A touch fortunate, but a lovely volley. And the super tennis arena goes wild.
Well, I think that look told you everything there from Berrettini. He was unlucky with the approach off the net cord, and he was a little bit of a sitting duck here. Look out how casually he came in, and then he gets the right way. Timed the move absolutely perfectly. Definitely wasn't out the centre, but he controlled it. I think he's apologising for the net cord approach, but he was vulnerable after that.
So advantage Italy. Can he serve it out now? 5-3.
So easy to miss that ball. It just doesn't quite accelerate off it. A couple of times in this match, he's given him the shorter slice. Does obviously, we know, stay very low, but Carreno Busta's just not accelerated through it.
Liked it off the strings, but just long. Dominated the last 5 minutes, Berrettini. Raised his game at just the right time, using his experience.
Yeah, getting these sort of 3-point serving for the set. Little shell shocked. Carreno Busta, understandably.
Net for serve.
The first set of this final goes to the hosts, Italy. Matteo Berrettini halfway to delivering the first point, 6-3.
Only taking 36 minutes as well, so didn't expend too much physical energy. Emotionally keeping things in check there, Berrettini. A very nice set of tennis, continues to serve very well, finding 6 aces, a few unreturnables as well at the right time. Forehand is working nicely.
They will play Granollers and Pedro Martinez. 2 out of 2 doubles en route to the final. It's a big game for Carreno Busta. Perhaps a sense that he's just wobbling a touch after 38 minutes.
That will frustrate him, as he was just going with a slice. He was just making that, trying to make it. And at this stage, you want to make Carreno Busta play absolutely everything. Semi-twisted his ankle there.
To raise his game, and he needs to do it quickly. Do you sense courtside, Nick, that Pablo's just lost his mojo here?
A little, yeah, for no particular reason, really. It's not like Berrettini's playing lights out here, I don't think, either. He's not had to do a whole lot to find himself with these 2 break points in this game.
Well on his way if he can convert either of these.
Yeah, definitely needs more of those, that's for sure. That will help the cause. Just that game at 4-3, 3-4, just completely went off the boil.
Oh, good dig. Could be an important backhand that if he can get the hold here.
Well, I was convinced he was going to rip that one cross court. It was a more tricky shot going up the line with it. You've got a smaller target to go for. You could see what he was trying to do back behind because Carreno Busta was covering the open court.
I'm pretty sure Berrettini thought the same of as well. One of these guys, like a lot of modern-day players, I think, Berrettini, who at times when you watch him play, he hits his forehand a lot better from the ad side. But when he moves around it, his footwork patterns are so well-drilled, and yet occasionally when he's moved out to his right, he doesn't look quite as balanced.
Well, despite still not playing his best, he's come through the game, and that was a vital hold of serve for Pablo Carreño Busta at this stage.
Had a bit more time in that final point as well to really get into the backhand wing. Hasn't been, David Ferrer having to do his work here just to keep him settled. Words of advice. He knows he's going through a difficult patch right now. It'll be very interesting to find out what he's saying to him right now. You could probably see the panic in his eyes.
He knows it well, doesn't he, after many, many years on tour. What a record Ferrer had in this competition. Perfect man for the job in many respects. .28.5, his win-loss record in Davis Cup. Part of the Spanish teams that won in 2008, 2009 and 2011, that golden period of Spanish tennis. Good record as captain as well, won 8 and lost just 3. What an achievement it would be if Spain can pull the surprise this afternoon and win this trophy without Alcaraz.
And Ferrer to win it as a player and a captain. And that would be so cool. Slightly riskier return. See what he was trying to do with Berrettini falling to his left. There was space up the line. It's a tough shot to execute, though.
Well, that backhand will Offer encouragement for Carreno Busta.
Bit unusual, the size of the miss. Bottom half of the net. If you can get it into the backhand, get some errors, quite tough to find.
Yeah, keep it low as well, because he doesn't have a lot of left arm in his backhand swing, does he?
Took him by surprise, good zip to that. Carreno Busta trying to take it earlier. Didn't have much time to deal with it.
Picks his game up in time.
Just the one glaring difference between the two players, isn't it, right now? Berrettini's ability to get 3 points when he needs them. Carreno Busta doesn't necessarily have that at his disposal as often.
Yeah, finding those aces nicely. Last 52 weeks, averages just over 10 aces a match. Up at 7 already.
It's a bit pacier from the Spaniard. Beat the young Dane Elmer Moller in the deciding match. It's one of the best points he's played so far today. Beautiful composure.
Didn't get frustrated. Berrettini throwing in some nasty slices to have to deal with. He didn't panic, didn't overplay them. Had lots of court to aim into there eventually. Just had to get the direction right. Footwork needed there to get out the way of that one. PCB.
Yeah, that win over Moller coming in September. That 3-2 victory over Denmark. It was Pablo who stepped up, finished the job from 2-0 down. Much cleaner game on serve. We're relieved he came through his initial service game in this set. 2-1. draw for the 2026 qualifiers first round ties in early February next season was made here in Bologna earlier today. Spain have a bye because they've made the final here, so they won't play until September. The qualifiers second round ties. There's Feli Lopez courtside. Some of those matchups. Chile will be at home against Serbia, Germany at home against Peru, Croatia will host Denmark, Ecuador will host the Australians, Great Britain will travel to Norway. The Belgians will be off to Bulgaria, and Japan are at home against Austria. All those ties taking place early Feb.
This one he made sure he got just right, going cross court. So much whip to that.
Incidentally, another 6 ties in February as well, involving the likes of the Netherlands, Argentina, US, Sweden, France, Canada, Brazil. So some good ties to look forward to early February.
Yeah, the tennis nations will be fast at work now, finding venues. Home nations.
All the winners of those ties then next in action in September for the qualifiers second round ties, and the winners of those are back here in Italy this time next year for the final 8. Italy as hosts, incidentally, get their spot in the final 8, so regardless of what happens today, they will be hosting once more. We're staying in Italy for the next 2 years.
Oh, Berrettini, another quick service game, just those balls back on Carreño Busta's side very quickly. That takes its toll as well. Feel like you're serving the whole time.
Loose start to the game.
Didn't need to be that good either, did it? Because the return was actually pretty short from Berrettini. He was quite deep in the court.
Yeah, that's the first time I've actually seen him do that. He stepped back just to maybe buy himself a little bit more time. Go for the big strike. I guess if you're Carreño Busta, you feel like you've got to make a difference every time you have a bit of time on the ball. Well, that was much better, right in the corner. Kept Berrettini back there. Good shape to this, very good length. That's the sort of quality you need to find if you're going to go into the forehand. 2 excellent forehands in a row.
And a slight problem there for Berrettini, that when he did run around the initial return, didn't quite give himself enough space, so it felt like he was always a little bit behind the 8 ball in the rally.
Oh, what a combination, slicing and dicing, and then the change of direction.
Well, I'm not sure it gets much better than that off that wing. Those slices were staying so low. Carreño Busta was doing everything he could to deal with them. But from that angle, you could see that was a peach of a backhand. A little bit of fade to it as well. I think that's Mum on the left there, happy with that strike.
Thank you.
Well, the line was open. Couldn't quite find it that time. Carreño Busta coming forward, that was putting a bit of pressure on, enough pressure on.
Oh, to watch that one closely. It's another good hold, though. So far, competing hard in this second set, the Spanish number 2.
Yeah, what an effort that was. Felt as if Berrettini was going to start making a move there. 30-all point was an excellent one, though, from Carreño Busta. Didn't panic on the approach. Came in on the right wing, even though he had just seen a backhand go past him from the baseline. Didn't put him off. Got to try and find a way to get into some Berrettini return games, though. Maybe some movement changes, court position.
Time.
The Italians overall will be pleased with the scoreboard at the moment. They'll be hoping Matteo can break through again pretty soon before this second set gets too tense. There's the trophy, famous Davis Cup silverware. That will be presented in a few hours' time. A 7th for Spain, or a 4th success for the Italians, first on home soil. It's a beauty.
Well, that's a really good start to the game. Completely outfoxed Berrettini there. He was expecting that one to come cross court here. Nowhere to be seen.
Been a bit of a pattern, hasn't it? And he has had love 15 a couple of times, hasn't he? He's had 15-30 a few times as well, and then Berrettini just drops the hammer in his unique fashion.
Sonego on his feet. Haven't seen him on court this week, but was added to the squad when Mazzetti withdrew his services.
He was allowed in because there was still time to do that. When Alcaraz pulled out, time had run out, couldn't replace a player at that stage, so that's why they've been left with a team of 4. Spain.
Almost got him again.
Just a little tougher to do off the slice, isn't it? That's the challenge. It's not quite as easy to take that on as a ball to a little bit higher.
Billie there. He'll be ready to go if required.
Yeah, Bologna, born and bred as well, Billie.
Being so clinical with that pattern of play. Surprising miss. Gives Carreno Busta some hope here. Yeah, that's a good hold. Clever play there from Berrettini. That slice up the line, just forcing Carreno Busta to go cross-court and go into his forehand. Tactically smart.
Berrettini and Gaboli, childhood friends, stood together this week.
So, Gaboli's dad that used to coach Berrettini as a youngster, alongside Santa Padre in Rome.
Wonder whether Carreno Busta thought he'd be playing in a Davis Cup final during the dark days when he was injured with the elbow problem. Never know what's around a corner, do you? That's why you keep fighting through those dark times.
Yeah, use it as motivation. I'm sure his teammates around him would have been in contact with him, the captain. That means a lot, I think, to players that are struggling. I think the similar sort of scenario for Berrettini, actually, as well. Feeling the love from your captain and your teammates.
Just overcooked it. Yeah, we were saying earlier, weren't we? It feels like certainly the Italians, probably the Spanish as well. They do a good job of supporting one another. They've got a good network, good camaraderie.
Yeah, seems to be, embedded in their culture. That side of things, always very close. They stick together. Always want the best for each other. Made it even more surprising with the Davidovich-Fokina situation. Took me by surprise, that.
Good body serve, wraps up game 7. So Carreno Busta still going along nicely in this second set. That initial hold was crucial, wasn't it? First game.
Yeah, that's putting some scoreboard pressure now on Berrettini. This was the stage that he was broken in the first set. He'll be hoping for the same in this next game. He gets the break. Carreno Busta. Good recovery in this second set from Carreno Busta, because the wheels came off back end of the first set for him.
Very good career, Pablo, hasn't he? Easy to overlook what he's achieved. Top 10 player. Mentioned the 2 US Open semi-finalists. Semi-final runs, the Masters 1000 title in Canada 2022. Grand Slam doubles final that came at the US Open as well, 2016, a semi-final in Australia. Bronze medal as well, Olympic bronze medal from the Tokyo Games. Just reminded myself of that 2020 US Open semi-final as well. He was 2 sets to love up on Zverev that day. Very close to making a major final.
I had forgotten about that, actually, that he led 2 sets to love.
It was the edition that Dominic Thiem won, beating Zverev in the final in 5 sets. Up for grabs that year, wasn't it? Of course, it was Carreno Busta who Djokovic was playing at the time of his defaults that year.
That was quite incredible scenes. I think you were actually commentating on that one.
I was, yeah.
I remember.
Couldn't believe my eyes. Oh, that's nice and pacey.
Yeah, a slightly different strike on that. Wow. That was off the string so quickly. Mark Lopez. Do that every time, please. It was a short shot from Berrettini. It got what it deserved. Hasn't got an extreme grip on that forehand. So he can flatten it out pretty comfortably.
Another one on the board. Another one on the ace count.
I'd make that 12. Just got to wait for my stats to tick over. But he's above his average now per match.
Pressure now on Pablo. No room for manoeuvre at this stage. It's amazing, isn't it? Right on cue, this crowd knows exactly when to come in, get involved, make their presence felt.
Well, are we going to see a similar sort of game that we saw from him in that first set? When he got broken. You have to say this is all pressure related.
Mark Lopez just insinuating to Ferrer that he is coming up out of the forehand very early on a couple of times, lifting out of the ball.
Too good. Delivers at just the right time.
That's very well executed. Carreno Busta had a lot of court to have to cover. The approach wasn't stinging enough. He was coming from a deep position as well. Only reached the service line there, you can see. And that is a strong looking backhand from Berrettini.
Three chances to break.
15-40.
Berrettini pounces. Perfectly judged return of serve. And he now has the chance to serve out this first singles of the day.
Well, he gave him the in. Carreno Busta with a couple of errors. And then Berrettini just burst through the door. What a backhand pass. And then what a forehand return that was. Right on the toes of Carreno Busta. He had no time to deal with it.
These fans ready to erupt if Matteo Berrettini can deliver yet another Davis Cup singles victory, going for his 11th in a row this afternoon. He's almost there. Just needs to come through one more service game. It's been relatively stress-free for the Italian fans so far.
And he's been breaking at just the right time as well. He's just got to hold one service game, and he's either won the set or could win the match here.
I think Carreno Busta understandably unhappy with noise from the crowds during the point. He is furious.
And he's just struck the chair there as well with his racket. Won't be surprised if he gets a warning here. You can't strike the chair with your racket.
David Ferrer now making the point as well.
This was the moment.
And there we go. The warning comes. Two points away. Just hasn't been able to deliver in the pressure moments, Carreno Busta today. Whether it's been the occasion, the expectation, the pressure that Berrettini's put him under towards the end of these two sets. 3 match points.
Please.
Matteo Berrettini delivers yet again for his nation. Has an incredible record in this competition. This is a big one though, isn't it? Because it puts the Italians 1-0 ahead in this final with Spain. They're halfway there to a third successive trophy. 3 and 4 today, rock solid.
Well, you have to say it was the perfect performance from Berrettini. Really was, start to finish, so focused. A couple of tight service games early on in the first set, but then he did such a good job of managing that side of things. Percentage was high, ace count was high. He was putting pressure on Carreno Busta. Just 2 poor games from him, really, from the Spaniard. And Berrettini was able to break at just the right time, just had to win 1 more service game thereafter. Dad will be happy. It's always a tough watch for him.
What an atmosphere. We're rocking again in the comms booth.
Yeah, no surprise.
Hold on to the ceiling.
Feels like we're on the QE2 in the Atlantic or something.
Wonderful day for Matteo Berrettini. 11 wins in a row in this competition.